we should be able to build custom object for the first time as a project. We start building it, definitely we cannot finish it today. When you build an object, we create an object. Object is nothing on its own. You need to add so many fields to it, and those fields that you're going to add to the object will definitely build the fields, what will help you to hold all the necessary data that will make meaning of your custom objects. Custom object does not exist on its own. It needs to have different fields, and there are different type of field that we can have. You can have auto number, you can have a date, you can have start date, end date, and so many fields like that on Salesforce platform. Then there are relationships you need to build between the objects you create on your own and an existing object within the Salesforce platform. And that is what will take us to um, master detail relationship, lookup relationship, and or what have you. So many other relationships like that that can actually exist between your custom objects and standard objects. And if you have your custom objects have relating with your master object, definitely. And if the master object happen to be standard object, then the relationship that is going to, the one that will be parent will always be the standard object, while you have the side object to be the custom object. You can as well have relationship between two custom objects. Anyone can be the master anyway, depending on what you want to use it to achieve. Now, before I dive into creating a custom object, if you create any object on Salesforce platform and you need to give it tab, that's what they call tab. That comes before the main object. Let me go to the setup. I'm on setup already. That setup, that tab needs to be is what you need to attach to the custom object. The custom object we are going to build today is going to be projects. The projects as a custom objects. What do you do with the project custom object that we're going to build? It's going to be an item or object that will help you to get all the necessary data that you need if you are carrying out any projects for your organization. Now, you might have to build an object such as a project object for installation or productions projects. Let's say your company is into manufacturing of solar panels. Then definitely you will have aspects of your project that has to do with the production. Then another aspect will have to do with installation. Let me put it that way. Now, if you are running a project, there must be time, start date for the project, end date for the project. You have actual hours for the project. That means the total number of hours that is going to be spent on that project to really measure the level of efficiency. You also need to have estimated hour. Then you might have a contingency fee. You might have estimated cost. That means like a kind of project, you estimated it on that particular project. Then you also have, you might have a team member, which is going to have a kind of relationship that is going to be lookup relationship with a user set object. You might have accounts because the company you are doing that business with, everything like that, we're going to build, establish relationship and everything. But before you do that, you need a tab. That's the first thing you do if you want to create an object. I will show you a tab, how you go about it. Then I will come back to start creating the custom object that we want to create. You type in on the you type tabs on the setup, a quick find. So this is the key for tabs. You enter it, then it's going to open. Then now, if you want to create this is for custom tab. You have one for web tab, that's for developer. Visual Force tab, that's for developer. The one that you have business with as an administrator happen to be the custom object tabs. Then you click new. So if you click new, you're gonna, if you already have the object already, you get to pick it up, then create it. Then out of it, you can now pick any of these that resonates with the one you want. Like, let's say this is a project, you'll be writing down so many things, then I can say I'm going to pick pencil to stand for the tab. So that is the tab style selectors. In the tab style selectors, there are so many options for you. If what you are trying to customize has to do with cell phone, you pick the one that has to do. If it is building, if it is a car, if it is anything you want to build, just try and give it the kind of image that is going to represent it at the end of the day, but just in a simple way. In this case, I will just say I put pencil, but let me just don't pick anything for now. Let me go and create the object first. When I create the object, then I will show you what and what you need to do and how you can add a tab to that object. Let's just go back, but I just need to show you this. If you create any object on Salesforce platform and you don't give it tab, you won't be able to, it won't pull out of the system. It won't be accessible for you. You'll be looking for it. It has happened to me in the past. I forgot to add a tab to a custom object that I built and it didn't happen that way. Okay, you must be able to measure the time for efficiency and productivity. You know, people must be accountable for the time they are spending on the project. Now, for that project, now for you to measure, for the end users to really know when you are doing your report, to really say that they are efficient, let's say the estimated hours for a project happen to be, let's say, 200 hours. Then in carrying out the project from the day one till the day they finish the project, they spend more than 200 hours. And ordinarily, they're supposed to complete that project under 200 hours. That's if they dedicate it with developers, every other person that is having the factory workers and everything. If they spend more than that time on that project, it simply means that they wasted time. It's not, they didn't spend the time judiciously. That means the efficiency is not there. And you want a situation whereby the people that are working for you, they are working in your organization, the stakeholders, they want a situation whereby they are accountable, both in terms of the time they spend, because they are paying them for the hourly on the job they do. If there is no time, if people spend so much time on a project and it takes them a longer time, something they're just supposed to finish under 100 hours, then they must be able to come out and answer, why have they spent so much hours on this? Why I pointed into that is that part of field that you're going to add to that custom object we want to build, you must have something that make people to be that will make your end users to account for hours they spend on the project. That's why you have estimated hours. You also have the actual hours spent. Now, if you now want, there is a point we're going to use formula to know the efficient hour that they are being efficient, or maybe they are not efficient. Let's put it that way. If it happened that actual hours, estimated hours, if you want a formula to pull the feed for efficient hours now, that's they actually spend on these things, you want to know extra hour, maybe it's in terms of negative, they spend more than time they're supposed to spend, or they carry out the job, they carry out the project earlier than when it expected, then definitely you will look for the difference between the estimated hours minus the actual hours spent. Then the remaining ones, maybe let's say the estimated hours for a project happen to be 200 hours. And at the end of the day, they completed the projects. Definitely, they didn't spend more than 150 hours. The difference now, if you minus 150 from the 200 hours, that means were efficient. They helped the organization to save nothing like that. That means the hours saved on the project will be nothing less than 50 hours. So if it is now more than, if the estimated hours that they're supposed to actually carry out the project happen to be 200 hours, and at the end of the day, your end users carry out the project, 200 actual hours becomes 250 hours. By the time you even minus that one, it's going to give you minus. That means they are not efficient. It's supposed to show something that is a problem. So we're going to create formulas and everything. I think that's what's actually brought about. You don't just, your company don't just run a project without having designated time for the job to be done and all that. And on this learning objective, I want you to master this project object I want to build. You must be able to also build it on your own. And apart from that, because I'm going to give assignments on this aspect for you to build a custom object, give it all the necessary field, give it all the necessary relationship. I believe I'm going to release that to Ross by the weekend, but you don't necessarily need to do it before the next class, because if I don't kind of do a demo for you in how you can build relationships and all those stuff on that object, you might not be able to handle the assignment. Just let us just flow now. The object we're going to build is project. Then if you want to build objects, or you want to customize, you want to manage objects, you want to build any field, add field, modify standard object, or you want to create custom object, the tool you are going to use normally, let me go back from let me just say, okay, it's on the tool you're going to use. You go to the setup. Though I'm on it, I just want to treat it further. They call this aspect object manager and lightning app builder. The object manager is simply referring to the tool that you can use as an administrator or a Salesforce developer to customize, to build, to create, to add, or to modify field, or to build a custom object within the Salesforce platform. Now you go to the setup. After you go to that is the back end now. Anything that has to do with configuration, building anything, or you want to build anything, or you want to create anything, it's always happen at the back end, whereby you make things happen on your own, you build things before you release it to the main front end for the end users to make use of it. Because whatever you are doing, whatever you are building at the back end, you prepare it, you build it for your end users to make good use of it, for them to carry out their responsibility, their operation, whatever they need to do on their own. Now, what I want to do is that I will go to the object manager and click on object manager. Now, these are existing objects. They are all standard objects. If you create any one now, they are going to be custom objects. They are going to be custom objects. So many on this platform, we have them. So if you are working in any organization, you can have up to 1,000 different objects, custom objects, standard objects, just on this in this object manager. And this is the object manager, as its name simplifies or signifies. It's just where you manage objects, be it standard, be it custom objects. You do so many things at this point. Then you say you want to create a new object entirely that has not existed before on your platform. You go to create custom objects. That is where we take you now to say, at this point, the system will have you, what is the label? That means the label simply means the name you want to give to the object you want to build. On this node, we want to build a project. Project objects is what we want to build. Then you say, in a plural form now, you type it projects. Yeah, that would be the plural. Then that's the object name in terms of API, this thing for the developer head. But the label simply means the way it's going to look at the front end. You know, I click create, which is a custom object. Then label will be projects. Then I type projects. If I like, I give it description, but there is no much explanation I need to give it in terms of description. Project record name. Please, I will show you some stuff here now. Context sensitive web setting, open standard SALESFORCE. No, you leave that aspect as it is. There are other very important areas here you need to pay attention to. If at this point you are creating these objects, you don't select allow report. After you created the objects and you wanted to build a report on it, it won't be available for report. That is how little thing like this can disrupt or break someone for the whole day. If when you are creating an object, you don't actually select allow report. After you have created it within the hug, and there is a need for you to create a report for it. Just because you have not created, when you were creating that object, you didn't select allow report as optional feature, then it won't be available for you to carry out report on it. Then allow activities, other activities, kind of events, calendar, and all those things. If you don't select it, that means activities like something like event, calendar won't be available on the custom object that you're creating. And if you don't track the feed history, that means you can't actually have a feed history that can really kind of memory of what is actually the kind of activities that will be going on that particular custom object. Is very important. You pick it up as well. Then allow shutter groups. That means at this point, if you click allow shutter groups, that means your end users, if there is it's a big project like that and they need to collaborate on it, definitely they can now create a kind of shutter group on the custom object for them to collaborate on it. Then I will advise you allow it as well. So enable licensing, no, it's not, you don't need to pick that one. Then let's continue. When these settings are enabled, this object is classified as an enterprise application, or when these settings disabled and all those things, just leave it as a default, the way it's been selected, leave it like that. Don't deselect it at this point. Now, I want to tell you something very important here. Deployment status. Deployment status. If in development, if you pick in development, that means you are still developing it. You don't make it available at the front end. But if you pick deployed, that means it will be available for your end users to make use of. It's a kind of spontaneously. But if you are still saying this custom object that you're trying to build is still at a development level, I'm telling you, it's still there until you come back to say deployed. It won't be available. That is, but I want it to be available now. I don't have that time where we're deploying it immediately onto the production environment, whereby every other person to the front end, whereby your end users will have access to it. Because as we're building it, I will need to also demonstrate it as well for for us to know that, oh, we are doing well with what we're building. When this setting is enabled, your users can find the record of this object type where they search. Now, I want to enable this so that if my end users they are trying to find the object called projects, they will be able to find it on the platform when they search for it at the app launcher, so that it will be available for them to search and pick it. They have anything to do with the project objects. Now, we have object creation option available when custom object is first created. When you are first creating custom object, this is the area now I want to talk about that tab. Now, add notes and attachment, related list, default page layouts. Yeah, let me just add note. Then launch new custom tab wizard after saving this custom object. It's very important. If you don't tick it, you might need to now, immediately I save this custom object, it will take me to a page that will ask me to add a tab. If I select it, immediately I launch a new custom object like that. I save it. I save this custom object. When I click on this save now, I will land on where the system will ask me to create a tab for it. But if I don't select it, it will save. And I can continue to give it feed and relationship and all that. But the implication is that I might forget to add a tab. And if I don't have the tab, it's not a crime. I must know that I didn't have it. I didn't have a tab. That was why I couldn't find my custom objects at the front end. Then I have to go back again, look for tab, create a new tab, then assign it to this new custom object. But I want us to launch, assign a tab to it immediately. I will just say save. Where I will land now is where the system will request that I should add a tab to this custom object. You see now, I land where it asks me to add a custom object. This was the tabs I went to using the quick find me the other time, asking us. I was just trying to show you that any object that you create must be assigned with a tab. You must attach a tab to any custom object that you create. If you don't do that, when you go to the app launcher to look for it or for it to be available for your end users, it's not going to be available. Or you want to search for it in any of the application, it's not going to be available. So it's very important for us to always make sure that we give our object or custom object a tab. Now, the object is the project. That's the object we're creating for the first time here, is the project. If you have any other object you created you want to give, is also you just pick it here, then to be attached to it. We want to give the tab style. Which tab style you want me to pick for this? We have numerous tabs here. No, so many. I need to pick one out of this numerous different style of tab that we have. If you can pick one for me, if you don't pick one for me, I will say I'm picking pencil. Okay. Then splash. As it is now, we're good. Now I will also, because we're adding a tab now, let me click next. At this point, these are profile. I can do one thing now. If I say apply tab visibility for each profile, if I click on it here, I'm ensuring security at this point. That's part of security you put in place. Now, that means I want to discriminate among the profile. That means I want to hide this custom object from some profile that are assigned, that some people that are assigned to some profile. It won't be visible to them. It will be hidden to them. So if I want to hide it for any of these, let's say contract manager, contract manager needs to have access to custom object that has to do with project. Let me say I want to hide it. I want to hide it from the marketing profile. Then I can say marketing profile tab hidden. So if I click tab hidden, by the time I save, though this custom object called project is on this platform, it's in this company. People working as people that are assigned marketing profile will not be able to access this particular custom project that I'm building. That's what it means. If I save and I say I want this tab to be hidden from this custom marketing profile, anyone within the organization, within your org, that is being assigned a marketing profile as an end users now, the profile is having that you assign to them happen to be marketing profile. This particular custom object, they won't be able to access it. But I don't need to do that for any reason. But I just tell you, if you want to hide any application from any end user, even after you might have saved it, what you just do, if your stakeholders, they say, oh, I've been pleased, we don't want our marketing, the people in marketing, and people in marketing, the kind of profile that are assigned to them happens to be what? Marketing profile. What you just do, you go to this object, you create edit. When you go to edit, you can actually go and hide it. Or you go to their profile, you look for where you have object management or object manager or object setting. Yeah, object setting. You go there. When you click on it, you go and hide it so that they won't have access to it, or you set it to private, they won't have access to it. But I want everyone to have access to it at this point. Then I leave it as default on. Let me now say apply. That means it's on. Everybody within the org will be able to see this particular custom object we are building. Then I click next. You can see custom app, all the application now. What happened here? Let me explain to you. Very important. This is an application. All your application, they are at where? They are at App Launcher. Here, App Launcher is where you have all your application. These are your applications, all the application you have on this platform. Sales is an application, service application, content application, site, marketing, all of them. There are so many applications you have on this platform. Everyone that you have like this, they are all application. All these ones, they are applications. Marketing is application. Community application, service application, they are all applications. The question they are asking us at this time is simply asking us that choose the custom app for which this new custom tab will be available. You may also examine or alter visibility of tab from details. Now, if I deselect it here, that means I want to specify the particular application. Let's say like sales application, I want to make this custom application to be available. Let me now go back again. Please let us take note of what I'm trying to drive at here. Now, let me go to sales. Inside sales as an application, we have opportunity object is inside sales application. We have lead is inside sales application, task inside it, account inside it, contact inside it. Since we have not built this object, finally, we've not saved it. Project is not available here. Now, this question is asking us that, do we want this our new custom object the way this one they are inside the sales application? Do we also want it to be available in the sales application? Then if you want it to be available, you select it here that it should be available in the sales application. If I want it to be available in a marketing application, I pick it, which I believe this project object, people in a marketing, they don't have any business with it. So if I don't select marketing now, I won't select it. I won't select marketing. And you will see that we will not find this project as an object inside the marketing application at the front end. I've selected sales. I've selected platform standard platform. Let me select every other one here, except in the service. I don't want it to be there as well. I only want it on the sales. Then let me pick every other ones here for it to be available. Then you will see what will happen at the end of the day. I select all these ones. Yes. Data manager, all these ones now, all the application that I selected is going to be available for them, except service and marketing. You won't find project objects in service and marketing. It won't be available there. Then if I go like that, that means I kind of discriminate with those ones that I didn't pick. Let me save. At this point, I save this tab. Then it's going to be available now at the front end. Don't let us go there. We have a lot of job, many assignments we need to do at this point. And the assignment is going to be that we're going to be adding different fields so that at the end of the day, what we are building will look like what we have, like this opportunity now. You know, opportunity has so many fields. These are fields. Opportunity has so many fields. Details, let me go to opportunity field. We're also going to build something like this. This green something that is showing stages of where you are in your sales pipeline, or the sales pipeline as it's going on within the org. If it is at prospecting and all that, finally the team is close. We're going to create this something like this as well. And confetti is going to drop on the stage at the end of the day. We're going to build something interesting with this, our project objects or custom object that we're trying to build. Now, let's go. You see now, all these opportunity owner, private, opportunity name, account name, type of business, all these things, we're also going to build something like this. Are field. Amount is a field, expected revenue is a field, close date is a field. All these things that help you to hold data when you input data on inside any custom or standard object. What help you to hold data? They are all field. They are all field. They are all field. And this field, if you are using CSV file, they are your headers on columns. That the columns you're going to have on the CSV file designate field will represent column. Field represent column and the headers. You have amount, revenue. When we get there, you will understand better. Right, that's a wrap up for today's video. I hope you have picked up some valuable insights and actionable tips in Salesforce ecosystem. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up. If you found it helpful, I'm Asikola Oshirikan, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.